Happy Good Friday, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Visionary Conversations with Shanna. As y'all can see, I did switch locations just a little bit today, so apologize for the delay. But nevertheless, y'all, okay, so normally we've been doing one show, but today we actually have two amazing guests. And so for the first 30 minutes, our first guest is the one and only Jonathan Coleman. I'm gonna let him, that is, introduce himself a little bit more and tell you about all the amazing things that he is doing for entrepreneurs. And the topic for our show today with Jonathan is You Are the Brand, PR 101 for entrepreneurs. All right. So make sure, as always, that you share this video, invite your entrepreneur buddies, your besties, business owners, family, friends, whoever, okay? We're going to have a great time today on Visionary Conversations with Shanna. Let's take a look at this brief video here, and we shall return with Jonathan Coleman. All right. I think there might be a delay, maybe weather related, so I do apologize for that. But we are here live with Jonathan Coleman. Are you able to hear me, Jonathan?
Oh, yes, I'm able to hear you.
All right, perfect. So we are set. So perhaps you don't need an introduction, okay? But I'm gonna let you introduce yourself to the Visionary Conversations with Shayna audience.
Definitely, Shanna. Thank you for having me on. I'm Jonathan Coleman, the Media Blast PR specialist of the Media Blast PR, public relations specialist. If you need more publicity for your brand, if you need to be featured and written up in various media platforms, magazines, e-magazines, blogs, email blasts, podcasts, whatever, I'm the guy to talk to so I can get you featured in those publications and get the word out about your business, your brand, your product, service, whatever you have. So that's what I'm here for, to talk about that. Um, let's see, and I also want to talk about a little bit about Blacktopia too, blacktopia.org. It's another media platform, but that one's strictly for our people, So yeah, that's the introduction. You'll find out more about me through the interview.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Jonathan. So, before we dive more into this, I have a confession, okay, Jonathan?
Oh, yeah.
So, let's see. I'm trying to think when the time was. So perhaps 10 or so, about 8 years ago, I would say. I did not necessarily know what a personal brand was and the significance, of course, of a personal brand. When I started building my first business, my mental health company, we actually just celebrated 10 years. And,
Congratulations.
my focus was just being the CEO of that company. I had a team at the time. We're in several states and several locations, and I was totally fine, more or less, kind of being in the background, right? And then went through some things, building the business, and at some point I felt lost. And I tell some of the story in one of my books. I felt lost and I needed to get away, but it was through going through that burnout and all those difficult challenges of building my first business that I learned the value of building my personal brand outside of just being the CEO of that company. So I say all that to say, for entrepreneurs, regardless of what stage or what season of business that you're in, building a personal brand, having someone such as Jonathan on your team that you can connect with to help you leverage, your brand, monetize your vision is definitely of utmost importance. So, Jonathan, I definitely commend and salute you for the work that you do. So important for all of us.
Oh yeah.
So, with that being said, what does it actually mean to have a brand as an entrepreneur, and why is that important?
Oh yeah. People. Well, first of all, the reason why it's so important is people need to be able to identify you. If you don't have a brand, if you're just some person just out there doing business, I mean, that really that stifles you. They don't know who they're doing business with. And a lot of the times you need somebody like me to help create that story and make you more personable to the people that you're targeting.
Right.
You know, well, that's one thing. So people can identify you, and yeah, so you can stand out too. I mean,
Right.
there's so many people that do the same thing. Who are you? You got to be able to stand out amongst many other people that provide the same services, products, things that you have. You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, so let's go back a little bit. How did you get started and why?
how to get started with working with me, or
How did you, yep,
how did
how
I
did
get
you,
started?
yes.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, there was an entertainment company called Nari Entertainment. This was years ago. This was in the early 2000s. I'm showing my age. I'm in my 40s now. But it's still young. But I was an errand boy in that working with their PR division, and I learned a few things and learned that. I took some short session classes, but that really didn't help me. What really helped me is when I actually did the work myself and got full force into it, and that's how I really got started. I also I didn't always have my PR business, although I did. uh I'm losing my words today. The PR person losing words, that's not good. But
Yes.
but for the sake of the interview, I always kind of hustled my skills, so to speak, throughout the years. Even when I worked for other people, I worked for iCore for a couple of years. Different companies and things like that. But on the side, I was doing my PR business until I was able to really go full force with it. So the question was how I get started. Yeah, that's how I got started.
And so you've been doing this now, at least, even through other ventures since the early 2000s. So you've been in the game for a long time, very well seasoned. Sounds like
Mhm.
well connected as well.
Yes,
Awesome. I
over
love
two,
it.
close to 2 decades.
It's a blessing, absolutely a blessing. Now, what would you say just in the 20 some years that you've been doing this, what are some of the common challenges or mistakes, that is? Maybe what are some of the common mistakes entrepreneurs make in their PR strategy or building their personal brand?
um, I guess it's so many answers, it's so many things, but you said common ones. One of the things I'm running across with clients these days is you want to get your brand on everything. You definitely want to. I know people want to focus on targeting their uh their brand to specific audiences, in which, I mean, that's important too. You have to do that. You don't want to just, if you're selling oh, there's all kind of metaphors I could use. I know you want to target specific audiences, but the thing you need to really do is cast your net wide, especially when nobody really knows you right now. Yeah, true, focus on those little pockets of people that you're doing this for, but advertise everywhere. You need to be on everything, every platform, every newsletter. Yeah, you need to be everywhere. And that'll grow your business. Even though, although the people that's looking at that particular platform may not need your services. They know somebody that does, and they know somebody that knows somebody that does. So you want to just stay in people's minds. Don't be picky about where you're at. Oh, I've never heard of that podcast. I don't think I want to do it. Like, look, the podcast may not have it may not have tens of thousands of viewers, but they got more people that know they have more people that know them that know you. So do it. Do the interview. I'm as people that follow me, they see me everywhere. They say, Jay, I see you everywhere. Well, you could be everywhere too if you work with me. That's that,
Mhm.
you got to be everywhere. I said I'll do a little kids newsletter for school if they wanted to interview me.
Okay.
I do all of that. I don't care. Like I do drops. Look, I'm not a recording artist. There are recording artists that don't even want to do drops for radio. That
Mm.
I don't want to do. I'll shout out I'm a PR guy. I'm essentially supposed to be behind the scenes. That should tell you something. If I'm out there more than just as much as the clients, I do good work.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. Now you mentioned being everywhere. I had someone tell me that years ago when I started to understand the value of having a personal brand. He essentially said that people need to hear and see you. So you saying that, definitely speaks volumes. And hopefully, you entrepreneurs, regardless of whether you're just getting started or you've been in this game for a while, Jonathan is definitely dropping some great, great tips for you. So as he just said, you have to be everywhere. What are some of those platforms, just a few of those platforms, or maybe key platforms you would recommend entrepreneurs to get on?
Uh, well, I'm gonna just recommend the ones recommend mine first. The mediablast.net. You should definitely come on over here. Blacktopia.org. We also have the Blacktopia mobile app. You can, if you have an Android, you can go to Amazon.com. If you have an iDevice, Apple device, you can go to Apple Store, iTunes, wherever you get your Apple stuff. Black Vibes, they're good for cooperating with me. Um, let's see who else do we have here? Blog Talk Radio, podcasts on demand. blogtalkradio.com/podcasts on demand. Um, who else? Waka Flocka's Superstars Online magazine has featured a lot of my clients in the past. Let's see, what else platforms? This one. Shanna. Just get in touch with Shanna. Get on the visionary the visionary e-magazines and things like that. That's good for entrepreneurs. Yeah, the list could go on. I could just go on and on and on. But first and foremost, y'all need to go to the www.themediablast.net and www.blacktopia.org. That's where you should start your
Okay, I
your
love it. I
search.
love it. So you mentioned Blacktopia. Tell us a little bit more about that brand.
Oh yes, Blacktopia is basically well, it started off as just a Facebook group, but it's evolved into a platform and somewhat of a movement. Basically, the bottom line to Blacktopia is to get all us under one roof and do business with each other. Keep that dollar circulating amongst each other.
Mhm.
That's what it's really for. So we could keep that, so we can empower each other economically. Because a lot of people don't seem to, a lot of our people don't seem to realize that's where a lot of the money is. I mean, excuse me,
Mhm.
not the money is the power is. Okay, yeah, we want to vote. Which racist politician are we not going to vote for? All that's cool or whatever. Yeah, I want to talk about that. But
Mhm.
where's the money? Everybody
Absolutely.
wants to talk about funding and reparations, and yeah, I want that too. But that should tell you something. If we're asking for money, that means money. You need money to do things.
Mhm.
So money is important, and I, 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 I can't stress that enough. I don't know why our people we need it for things, but we demonize it.
Mhm.
Oh, money is the devil. No, it's not. It's just an energy that you could use to if you use it correctly, it's power.
Absolutely. That's one of the key things, mindset, right? I'm also a certified financial social worker and financial therapist. So one of the things, I discuss with my clients and mostly the entrepreneurs is the importance of, having that money mindset, right? Money is what you make it. You have to invest in yourself to make money, right? You can't expect to go into this game not investing in yourself. If you see it as, oh, I'm just, I'm spending more money, it's costing me money. Okay, you know what? With that mindset, you're not going to get far. But if you look at it from the mindset or from the lens of, okay, I'm investing in myself, I'm investing in my brand, and someone such as you, Jonathan or Jay, can help me, take my brand to the next level. That is the mindset that's going to help you be successful and sustainable as a business owner, because you're not doing this just for the short term. Okay, hopefully no one is jumping into business just to be in business just for a season. No, this should be a long term endeavor. Even if you decide, okay, you know what, I want to do something else, that is okay, but at least you can leverage what you learned from that first business venture, right? In any and everything that you do moving forward. But as you say, you have to invest in yourself. You have to have that right money mindset as well.
Oh, yes, true indeed.
All right, so let's do this. We're going to take a brief commercial break. And actually, Jonathan, I want to connect you with my visionary sponsor for this show, Swag Her Magazine, an amazing, amazing platform as well that you and your clients can certainly, perhaps benefit from. So let's take a look at this brief commercial from Swag Her Magazine, and we shall return with Jonathan Coleman.
Swag Her Magazine is an empowerment and lifestyle publication for Black women who like to be real with themselves and in business. The magazine also offers public relations services and visibility coaching for Black women led businesses, coaches, authors, and girl bosses so that they receive more exposure and grow their brands. To learn more about Swag Her Magazine, please visit www.swagher.net. That's www.swagher.net. Check our swag. We're more than a mag.
All right, perfect. Thank you once again to Swagger Magazine. They have been rocking and rolling with me since my first talk show in the Visions of Greatness talk show. So definitely forever appreciative of them. Now, just speaking of social media a little bit more as well. Certainly, there are so many benefits, right, of being on social media. However, a lot of the work goes on outside of social media as well. And a matter of fact, Jonathan and I, that's how we connected. I attended a networking event that I think you were maybe the co-host
Yeah, I
and
was the
PR,
co-host.
okay, and PR person for that event, dynamic event. It was in the Queen City or Charlotte, North Carolina. And I was definitely very impressed. Definitely some very a lot of like-minded, high-level individuals in the room that evening that I attended. So, Jonathan, I know you host a lot of events on and off social media. So, if y'all are not already connected with him, make sure you do so today. Okay, he has his IG listed here. Is it J for now?
Hmm.
Also, take a look at his website, follow and connect with him on Facebook and all of his platforms. You absolutely will not regret it. Let's see, do we have any questions? I was trying to see if we had any questions for our audience as we continue our conversation with Mr. Jonathan Coleman.
Okay. Yeah, don't be afraid. Just ask
Right. Yeah.
people.
No dumb. Yeah. The only dumb question is the one you don't ask. So if you don't know, you don't know. Okay. Like I said, I mean, just a few years ago, or maybe around 8 years ago. So I didn't know. Okay. And I still don't know. I still don't know it all. Right. I'm over here taking notes as well. I'm not sure if y'all can tell. I'm always a learner. And as an entrepreneur, you always have to be willing to grow, always be willing to invest in yourself, always be willing to learn. It doesn't stop with your formal education. Okay, so definitely invest in yourself.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
but also let me ask you this. So in the
Mhm.
age of social media, and then also cell phones, right? Like we cameras on cell phones have evolved so much. Say since we were in high school. I mean, I didn't get my first cell phone until I was a senior in high school. It was a flip phone, right? I think I got my first iPhone probably about 11 years ago, as a reward for me passing my clinical exam. And now, something happens, goes down in the community or anywhere you are, right? The church, wherever you are, right? Everybody got their cell phone. What are they doing, right?
Yep.
Recording,
Get
right?
recorded. Hmm.
recording live, right? Live. So my question, Jonathan, is, and I don't know if any of your clients have been in a situation where maybe they weren't representing themselves the best that they should have, or perhaps I know you're aware of, stories of others who perhaps, they were caught not putting out the best image of themselves. How can how can entrepreneurs, if they run into any situations like that, certainly one, they need to call you, right?
Yes.
But how can entrepreneurs maintain their personal image and reputation online in this age of social media?
Well, this is what I do for myself. Um, when I on social media, I don't post too much personal stuff. I post mostly things about my business, about my brand. I give people a little sneak peek into my personal life, but not really. Like, I'm mysterious to a lot of people. They just know Jonathan Coleman, the PR guy, and Blacktopia. I don't really show too much outside of that, and that's what I want to tell. It's a story I want to tell through social media. I know a lot of people have private accounts, and you can only be their friend and know them personally in order to see what. Just don't put that stuff online. Shoot, people say, Jay, you accept requests from strangers and stuff like that. Yeah, of course. Those strangers are potential. They're leads. That's how I look at them. If they don't know me already, sure, send me a request. I'll take it, because it's not like I'm posting photos of my address and my home and what I'm doing and where I'm eating, and well, I do post that sometimes, eat stuff, but but I'm not giving anybody any personal stuff. So
Mhm.
it leaves very little room to to be off-putting to the public and things like that. And I also want to say this too. Uh, we're always learning. We're always students of life.
Mhm.
One of the lessons I had to learn is I'm more neutral now when it comes to my opinions and things like that. And I'm not saying that other brands should do this. If you are who you are, don't apologize for that. Be
Mhm.
unapologetically you.
Yep.
But if you're somebody like me, and I can't do that too much. I can't be, uh, you know, uh, I can't have a Kevin Samuels monologue. You know what I'm saying? And keep the clients I got. You know what I mean? So I have to, about when it comes to my personal opinions and things like that, especially if they're like maybe an unconventional opinion or something like that, or even something about politics or religion or whatever. I don't, you don't know. I don't, either way, I'm cool with both. I don't put it out there because I want everybody's money.
Mhm.
You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? If we live in that day and age where people will stop working with you if they don't like something you said,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
yeah, that's the age we live in now. So I'm not a sellout. I'm not going to say anything that I don't want to say, but I'm not going to say anything that I shouldn't be saying that's going to be off-putting to a potential lead either. You know.
Mhm. Absolutely. That's some really, really great and real advice. I guess I'm probably telling on myself again a little bit here, because at one point, so I started my Facebook account when I was in undergrad, I think, right? I think my junior year, probably just maybe a year or so after, they gave birth, I guess, to Facebook. And so on that Facebook page, until this day here, I have met all but maybe a handful, literally a handful of people on that page, because my mindset was, okay, I mean, I only want to be connected with those I know, right? I'm not adding people that I don't know to this account. For what? However, when I started to understand the value of building my personal brand, and I connected with someone that had so much wisdom, such as yourself, it's probably been about 7 or 8 years now since I did this. I had to open my eyes. I had to change my mindset. And so that account to this day is still only literally today, as I mentioned, only has maybe a handful of people that I've never met in person. It only has about 1,000 or so friends, right, on that page. But at some point throughout my 30 plus years of life, I've connected with them, right? However, what I did, I created a second page. I created a second profile. And let me tell you, it has been one of the greatest blessings, one of the best decisions that I have ever made when it comes to my brand, because those strangers, as you mentioned, have supported me tenfold and more. Have led to so many different opportunities, have led to different connections, have exposed me to just all things new. That, and not saying, there are some people on my other page that, have that mindset of doing some of those things as well. However, the energy on my public page is so different. The vibe is so different. I had one of my assistants at the time. I said, hey, I gave them the criteria. I said, hey, yeah, we're gonna add strangers. Absolutely. Right. And
Mm-hmm.
I had a certain, strategy with it per se. It wasn't just anyone, but it's work. And I'm definitely so grateful for that. It's so crazy. I was at Chili's in Buckhead a few years ago, and the guy, he recognized me, and I mean, I was doing a lot of things in the A at the time, so it wasn't fully surprising. And I said, okay, let's connect on Facebook. And I'm looking at Facebook, it's like, wait, we are the Facebook friends.
That's happened to
um,
me too.
yes, yes, but that just shows. I mean, yes, social media is so powerful, but also it's not powerful if you don't use it to your advantage, right? If you don't leverage it to your advantage. And even going to what you mentioned about, private accounts, I see that a lot. And obviously on Facebook, okay, you can do anything you put on there anyways. Obviously, if it's more than, you got more than one friend, or you got one friend, okay, it's public information. Just
Mm-hmm.
so you know, okay? Even if you make it private for that one person, it is public information.
The
However, I
screenshot.
definitely, exactly, but I
Mm-hmm.
definitely get, because sometimes I still make some posts private, a few private posts, right? And that's totally okay. But definitely, if you're a public brand, if you want to leverage, yourself for greater opportunities, make your page private, or do as I did, create a second, Facebook profile, social media profile. Likewise with IG, I've seen that a lot with IG, the private accounts. And like you say, you're a public figure, and
I was just not to cut you off. I just want to throw that in there. I was going to just say this. If you're on Instagram and you are a brand or a public figure, you should not have a private account. That's you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're leaving money on the table by doing that.
absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. We can go on and on and on, Jonathan, but certainly we'll continue this conversation in the future. We just have another minute or two. So my final question for you is, what advice will you give to entrepreneurs trying to start their brand, or maybe rebuild their brand, as we look forward to now in the second quarter of 2023 and beyond?
I want to say this. I want to say you have to adapt to the times. It's 2023 and AI is taking over. So don't be afraid of AI. You might have to use it for your business. Don't be afraid of all these other apps. I know some people get in a mindset of I'm only on Facebook, or I don't do social media. Look,
Mhm.
I don't believe it or not, I don't do social media either, even though I'm all on social media. I use it as a tool. You know what I'm saying? I don't love it like that. It's just, it is what it is. You got to use it. You guys are thinking, if you're a brand, don't think of it like a consumer. Let the consumer say, I don't like TikTok, or I don't like Instagram. Let the consumer say that. As a business, you like it all. You want to be on every platform. And I also want to say the best advice I could give entrepreneurs, the best advice, lean in everybody, is you all need to be doing business with me.
Oh, there you go. You heard
Hit
it
me up.
from the one and only Jonathan Coleman. Jonathan, tell them how they can connect once again with you.
All right. You see the Instagram at the bottom. You could hit me up on Instagram. You could email me at info@themediablast.net. info at the. Oh, somebody's hitting me up. Get out of here. Oh, business. Another lead. I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get their money after this. info at themediablast.net. I know y'all can spell, but maybe you can't. There it is for you. And reach out, man. I'll even give my cell phone too. 704 56, excuse me, 704 560 2752. And I screen calls anyways. I don't care. It's on my business card. So if you don't hear from me, text me or something so that you get in touch with me.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jonathan. I know I'll definitely be seeing you in these social media streets, but also out in the Queen City and beyond as well. So thank you so much. And I look forward to connecting with you soon.
Oh,
Bye.
yes. Thank you.
Bye. All right, y'all. Wow, another great episode of Visionary Conversations with Shayna. Sometimes I miss when we were in the studio in the ATL because, I had a longer show at that time. Really, 30 minutes is not a significant amount of time to give, all the valuable information that the visionary guests have. But nevertheless, we try to make it happen. And what I'm also going to do, because Jonathan was recently featured on our Visions of Greatness blog, so I'm going to drop or have my assistant drop the blog link in the comments once we're done with this next show. Okay, so y'all tune back in just a few minutes. We have another amazing guest coming on momentarily on Visionary Conversations with Shayna. I'll see y'all in a second. Bye.